Big games coming up this week. It's time for the Unibet game preview. Let's start with the NBL. Friday night, New Zealand fresh off a Tom Abercrombie buzzer beater. They're at home to Melbourne. New Zealand in fourth, Melbourne in second.
They're getting better, New Zealand, but I'm still not convinced that that they're going to make the four. They've got the talent, no doubt about that, and they're starting to play much better basketball. I'm still going to tip them 1-10 just because it's at home, but I'm reluctant to do it.
I would usually just wait and hear the rest of your tips, but
You going Melbourne? I
just
wouldn't blame
challenge
you for
right
going
now.
Melbourne. I wouldn't blame
I'd
you.
challenge right now. Melbourne United comes
Going?
down. I agree, and shout out to New Zealand. I think Sean Long is absolutely tearing this league apart. Ty Wesley is just finding some
Long?
form.
Mate, he hasn't done... You've been talking about him since the Blitz. That's all you've been talking about is him. I
I'm gonna
like
challenge
Richard
Melbourne.
better.
Hey, Rashad was nice. New Zealand are flying.
Okay. All right. move
Could
on.
be game of the round on Friday night. That's my challenge right there. I'm looking forward to giving out another poke. Saturday night, Adelaide have lost 4 straight. New import coming in there at home to Illawarra. Both teams looking to
we
keep
expect
touch with the
Conga
four.
is going to play. And if he does, they'll win by 11 plus. They will absolutely give it to the Illawarra Hawks. Absolutely give it to them. 11 plus.
That's what you said last week. Saturday night, Cairns at home to Perth. The Snakes desperate. Perth likely to have no Brant, no Tariko White, no Damien Martin.
I just can't pick against the Perth Wildcats at the moment. Their culture, their defence, Bryce Cotton, everybody else willing to play a role. But Steindl was awesome. 5 out of 5 threes in the first half against Wollongong and against Illawarra down in Wollongong. And, that was just massive win. So I think Perth 1-10.
Can't knock the Wildcats. I'm going to be up in Cairns calling that game. Looking forward to it. I could see a story where the Cairns get that done, but I've given my challenge already. Sunday, Melbourne, home to Brisbane. Brisbane, as we've mentioned already, coming off 2 buzzer beater losses.
Yeah, I think this is a flip of the coin, but I'm going to go for Melbourne 1-10. I think Brisbane will seriously compete, but I just don't think they'll get it done against the talent. And they need to get some wins, United, as well. If they have lost to New Zealand, which I'm tipping, then they'll be desperate to be able to get this win and really keep themselves in that top 2.
Yeah, they've done a great job of protecting home. Sunday night, final game of the NBL round. Sydney in third at home to New Zealand at fourth. That might change depending on the result to Melbourne, but third versus fourth, as we know.
Well, if Sydney play the sort of defence they did against the Adelaide 36ers, they're going to win this game convincingly. That was by far the best mindset they've come out with. Their rotations, their containment, their rebounding. They got out to the races and run. And Brad Newley wound back the clock. It is so good. When he plays with that mindset,
With
I just
his
love
taped up head, a la his coach Drewy back in the day.
winning
I
in
liked
his hometown. Arthur, his dad was there. They would have been celebrating, and I was really happy to see it. But they need to be able to maintain that. We know they've got the talent, but they have to be able to pull it all together, and they did that.
Talked about New Zealand-Melbourne game in the round. That'll be very nice on a Sunday night. Moving to the WNBL game of the week, you see on Fox. Melbourne Boomers at home to Townsville. Melbourne coming off a game in Perth. Townsville coming off a game in Adelaide. That game on Sunday.
Well, Melbourne haven't played their best basketball considering the talent they've got, but you think that week in, week out, they're going to continue to get better. I'm going to go for Melbourne 11 plus against Susie and Townsville.
And Susie may be out with an ankle, tweaked an ankle last game.
20 plus.
Yeah, that could hurt them. Garvin and Akuzo stepped up well for Townsville. McBegor out for Melbourne. Booth stepped up well for them. I think Melbourne there as well. Let's move into some NBA. The Clippers being talked about as a potential destination for Kawhi, maybe KD if he wants a new challenge after this year. They're hosting San Antonio Friday afternoon Australia time.
Well, I've been impressed with them this year. Don't worry about next year. And I like their defensive efforts. Pretty even team across the board with different people being able to step up at different times. Obviously, Gallinari's been tough to be able to defend from the perimeter at his size as well. So I'm going to go with the Clippers 1-10 over San Antonio. We're still looking all right, but I'm not sure they'll get it done on the road.
Philadelphia boasting a new big 3. Jimmy Butler in town. They're hosting Joe Ingles, Dante Exum and the Utah Jazz.
Well, I think at the start of this trade, the enthusiasm and Jimmy being on his best behaviour, he's going to want to keep everybody happy and he'll be saying the right things and doing the right things, and he wants to get his payday, right? So he's going to make things work, so he'll probably be fantastic for the rest of the year. I think that they will just beat Utah, so I think 1-10.
Dallas hosts Golden State. That's Sunday lunchtime in Australia.
Well, I'm not sure whether Curry will still be out at that stage, but I'm going to go with Golden State. That's a shock, isn't it? 11 plus, just
Really
too much Arsenal.
Really putting yourself out there
Yeah,
on that
went
one.
out on the limb. 11 plus, that one.
Final game in the Unibet game preview is Miami hosting the LA Lakers Monday morning Australia time.
Miami's one of those teams, you look at their roster and you think, how are they going to win? But they just find a way to be able to get it done. And tough team to be able to match up against. I like it with the big fella now, the Lakers though, Chandler. I like him there. I think he had a big block in today's game.
Rim in a big way.
Yeah, so they really needed that, and probably a new lease of life too for him for the Lakers. So I'm going to go Lakers 1-10, but I would imagine that Miami's probably going to be favourite.
That's the Unibet game preview. Our challenge game of the week, Shane's going for New Zealand. First game of the NBL round. I've challenged him with Melbourne United to travel to
no confidence
New Zealand and get the job done. That's the Unibet game preview.